It's interesting and almost scary how much power a leader can have if they derive that power from expert or legitimacy. For example, 95% of nurses in a research study were willing to follow a doctor's orders to administer a clearly unsafe dosage of medicine to patients. 46% of nurses in another study admitted to a time that they complied with a doctor's order that they thought was unsafe. One of the things you have to do as a supervisor or leader is control. And what this means is setting performance standards, being able to measure those performance standards, comparing actual performance of employees to the goals that you've set, taking corrective action if needed, and using information gathered to set future performance standards. The idea of control doesn't mean that you keep employees under a tight grip. Control means that you set a plan for what you want to happen, and you have a detailed way of measuring whether or not you're actually meeting your goals and according to deadline. Federal Express uses 3 quantitative measures of performance. They're a huge organization and they're considered very successful. And for them, they have to be able to quantify in numbers in very concrete ways whether or not they're meeting their goals on a continuous basis. And if they're meeting these goals, on a worldwide level. The first thing they do is the Service Quality Index. These are measurements made on every shipment. Then they have Customer Satisfaction Index, where customers rate the service, their service and delivery. The Process Quality Indicators are measures taken on individual operating units. Managers have to play many different roles within an organization. Sometimes they're in the informational role. This means that they gather information, they give it out to employees, and they serve as the spokesperson for their organization. Managers also play an interpersonal role. This means they act as the figurehead, the leader of the organization, and they also serve as the liaison between their company and other agencies. And finally, managers work in a decisional role. This means that they're the entrepreneur. They determine what the vision is for the company. They determine who gets resources that are needed. They resolve conflicts between employees or between their company and other companies, and they negotiate. Jack Welch, the former CEO of General Electric, who was considered very successful in his position, claimed that he spent at least 60% of his time on people stuff. This meant he did a lot of management by walking around, touching base with employees to make sure that they were staying on track, and handling problems before they got out of hand and became fires that he had to put out. When leaders or managers make important decisions, they actually go through a 5-step decision-making process. You may do this in your job. You just may not lay out the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of what you're actually doing. But basically, it's defining the problem, searching for solutions, selecting one or more alternatives, putting the plan into action, and following up to see if the problem is solved. Some managerial skills in high demand are technical, human relations, conceptual, and global management. Some would argue that technical skills or specialized knowledge and expertise in one field is what got Bill Gates to where he's at. Some would argue that for interpersonal skills, it's what helped Bill Clinton and also George W. Bush do so well in their careers. Conceptual skills or understanding the big picture. Many argue that Jack Welch with General Electric understood the importance of the larger vision. He understood the importance of technology and what an important role that would play in the future of General Electric. Lou Platt, a former CEO of Hewlett-Packard, understood long ago that family-friendly policies would keep Hewlett-Packard strong. And leaders like Colin Powell clearly are able to operate in diverse environments and understand the importance of global management skills. The idea of empowering employees became very popular throughout the 90s, and some things that are absolutely needed for employees to feel empowered is decision-making authority, and you have to develop a culture and climate that support it. You also have to organize your business to support empowering employees, letting them make decisions that count, and reward employees based on their performance. So what are some trends that have been occurring in management? Well, an increase in employee empowerment. This is a concept that has become very popular across the board in successful businesses. There's been an increase in the role of information technology and an increase in global management.